Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a special live edition of the Scientology Spy Files. I'm your host, Mark Headley, and I am joined here by my lovely wife, Claire.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me on, honey, in your Spy Files. This is the first one I've been on.
I just realized that when I just said that, I was like, I don't think Claire's ever been on one of these before.
Nope.
This is a very, there's a lot been building up to this episode. Some of you may be new here. This may be your first episode. If you're listening on the podcast, this may be one of the episodes that you might want to watch on YouTube. But I will try to explain it as much as possible because we're going to have a lot of visuals in this episode. But to get you up to speed, my wife and I escaped from a secret Sea Org base in the California desert in January of 2005. Fast forward, it's now May of 2006. And for the past, let's say 6 months or so, I had been spilling Scientology's deepest, darkest secrets about its international headquarters on the internet. And they were none too happy about this. This was very...
And you were doing it anonymously under Blown for Good. Thus, the title of your book, Blown for Good, Behind the Iron Curtain of Scientology, which details everything that we're going to talk. Well, it doesn't talk about after we left, but it details everything leading up to that escape.
That's right. And they, through obtaining our phone records from the phone company, through digging through our garbage, stalking us with private investigators, staking out our house.
Remember, they had a private investigator walking past our house every single day with a giant radio and a hat, and super creepy.
It was like one of these World War II radios. It was probably about a foot high, and it had a 4-foot antenna. You'd be walking. I thought he was just a radio enthusiast, but Claire was convinced he was a private investigator.
This guy is super suspicious, like super sketch, not cool.
Yeah. And they had people following us to the grocery store, and if I would run errands during the day, they'd be following me around. They'd follow me to jobs, and at this point, they have about, I'm going to say 5 to 7 people that they're speaking to that are our friends, quote unquote, that also used to work at the international headquarters with us and who'd also left the Sea organization. But some of these people still wanted to speak with their families that were still inside Scientology and active or practicing or whatever you want to call it, Scientologists. And so the spy wing of Scientology, which is called the Office of Special Affairs, the same organization that perpetrated the largest infiltration in the United States government in history, they are tasked with controlling Sea Org members and Scientologists that may be exposing Scientology to the general public and the media. So the Office of Special Affairs has tasked these 5 to 7 people with spying on us. And up until this point, and I do want to say this, up until this point, based on the files, the spy files that we've read, it really seems like there's at least one major person who's giving information to Scientology. And then Kirsten is then reporting that information up to the international headquarters and to David Miscavige in Religious Technology Center. David Miscavige is the leader of Scientology, and he sees these reports that are being compiled by the Office of Special Affairs based on all the reports they're getting from the spies. And this is the first time I've actually read all of these files in chronological order, and now looked at the pictures of what was happening when these reports were being sent. Mm-hmm. And you will see by the end of this episode where things stand based on the photographic evidence we have and based on these files that are being sent up by Kirsten. We're going to call her Kirsten 5.0 because it does seem that Thorne was her married name. So Kirsten 5.0 is now writing a document that is, I think this document takes place on Monday, and I think my party was on that Saturday or Sunday, and this is Monday or Tuesday. But this is about a day or two after the birthday party has taken place. And when I read the document, you're going to see this is based on what people have told Kirsten, and it does seem that Kirsten's spicing it up a little bit for her benefit, so that it shows that she's been doing something. And then you'll see the people that are doing the spying at the party. You're going to see them actively working for Kirsten. And when you see these pictures, I mean,
they'll speak for themselves. And also, just for context, Kirsten 5.0 is the primary person in Office of Special Affairs, which is Scientology's spy wing, who is responsible for tracking and reporting on pretty much anyone that left Scientology, but especially hiring private investigators to track down information about anyone who has left Scientology and is now speaking out, which, and at this point, also, I should say, I had not spoken out at this point. Just you had anonymously.
Yeah. So they have categories that they put these Sea Org members into. And if you leave the Sea Org and you want to get back into Scientology, you have to pay what's called a freeloader debt. And this freeloader debt could be anywhere from $50,000 to $300,000, depending on what training or counseling you participated while you were in Scientology. Well, most of these things are required in Scientology. So it's essentially on-the-job training. That's a simple fact of the matter. If your employer requires you to do some sort of processes or courses or counseling or anything, that they have to cover that. And if you leave, they can't then charge you for that. So I want to say this, that freeloader bills are illegal. Like there's no place where that is a thing that you could be, like your wages can't be garnished or anything like that for a bill that you get from Scientology. It's useless. You could just tear it up and throw it away. But if you do that, then they're not going to let you speak with your Scientology family members ever again. And so that is sort of the leverage they have on all these people that are our friends and that we work with and work for or whatever. And those individuals, they want to be able to speak with their family. And if they want to do that, they sort of have to go along with the spying. So I do want to preface this with that. So when you see what these guys are doing at this part, when you see what these guys are doing at the party, realize that they're not only, they might be under the guise that they're not going to speak to their family members again, and their future eternity and mankind's future eternity is on the line if they don't get rid of the big bad suppressives like myself.
And it's not that they're being paid to do this.
Yeah.
There's no leveraged and controlled to do it.
Yeah, the payment part may progress. That may evolve over time. I don't know if we're going to cover that in these files, but we'll see. But I think now we've got enough time that there's enough people in here. When you go live on YouTube, which is where we're going live here on YouTube, and we're on X right now, but it takes a bit for the notifications to go out. And so usually after about 500 people get into the chat and the live, then I assume that we're good to go. So without further ado, we will cover the next document in the Scientology Spy Files. And this document, you'll see it up. You get it up on the screen there? You see it there, babe?
Hold on. I got to move my screen.
Oh,
here.
it's fine. It's
there.
Yeah,
I see it.
Okay. I got the feed playing, so it just popped up. This document is from May 23, 2006. So it is 2 days after my party. It's from the external security chief, OSA Int, and that is Kirsten 6.0 or 5.0. And it is written to WDC OSA, which is the watchdog committee member for the Office of Special Affairs. And that is the person at the international headquarters that is assigned in charge of the Office of Special Affairs. And at this time, the hat was kind of being worn by several different people, but it was either Mike Rinder or Kurt Wieland or David Miscavige himself, because he's the one who's going to tell that person what to tell OSA. And it's CC'd on here. The carbon copies are going to CO OSA Int, which is the commanding officer OSA Int, the deputy commanding officer OSA Int, the investigations chief OSA Int, and the deputy inspector general for legal affairs RTC, which at the time was Warren McShane.
Yep.
Okay, here we go, guys. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm going to pull it up on a big one I can read over here. Okay, so then it says, here we go. BFG. Dear sir, I'm not sure which reports you have seen, so I've put the key recent data below. Bottom line on the birthday is that it did happen. And the people who attended were Eric and his WOG fiance. That just means a non-Scientologist. That's what all Scientologists call anyone who's not in Scientology. They call them WOGs. I know it's a slur in certain locales around the world. In Scientology, it just means a non-Scientology person. Eric and his WOG fiance, Matt, Suzette, blank person, Ellen Prager, Gil and Gabrielle Llewellyn, and 3 WOGs. Eric was there for an hour and said there was no discussion of Scientology at all when he was there. This is the part that always makes me laugh, is that they think I'm going to have a birthday party and we're all going to get together and talk about Scientology. No, we're having a birthday. We don't care about them. We're gone. We've been gone for a year now, maybe a year and a half. We don't give a shit about them. I, on my own, was just exposing them on the internet as something I do at night when I couldn't sleep. It wasn't my main activity in life. It was like, some people go play video games. Oh, I just happened to go on the internet and expose Scientology. That was my game. That was my game at night. Okay. Since this time, Eric called me tonight and remembered that when he first confronted Mark over the phone on being BFG, details below, Mark said, "Why are they trying to censor what I'm saying?" Mark then backpedaled, said he was not BFG, and that he just doesn't like the church trying to cut across people's freedom of speech. Yeah, this conversation never took place. Eric never once confronted me on posting anything on the internet. Never. I think that we had talked about who this person was, but nobody knew. And I was just like, yeah, it is what it is. Eric and Matt will be meeting with Mark within the next couple of days to complete the confrontation. Get it out of him that he is BFG and get him to stop. Eric said that he is positive he can get Mark to stop, as he says he has points of leverage. Ways Eric has assisted him: health insurance, house they are living in, arranged through Eric's friend, that Eric can pull the plug on. Now, this is also funny because Eric had nothing to do with any of those things. Eric's friend is the one I was renting a house from, but every time I asked Eric to ask the friend, he would never do it. So I just contacted this person directly and said, "Hey, I heard the house was for rent." He goes, "Oh yeah, if I knew you wanted it, I would have let you move in months ago." And I was like, "Yeah, I've been asking Eric for 3 months. He just, I don't know why, I just won't ask you." And then I set it up with the guy directly. Same thing with my health insurance and all this other stuff. So Eric might have been giving on a little bit more a power that he had, that he didn't. But then it says, Eric said there are other things that he knows about Mark that he will use as needed, but he didn't want to tell me these things. Now, any of you who've been watching the channel for a while will know that Eric was present at a birthday party I had the year before. And that party was the very first party that I had been to after I had escaped the Sea Organization. And I got blackout drunk on Hollywood Boulevard, and they did a whole photo shoot of me laying on Hollywood Boulevard. And one of those pictures was the supposed blackmail that was going to be used against me. And I just posted it on the internet myself to preempt the strike. And now Scientology has been using that picture pretty healthily. Okay, I made it clear to Eric that he, Matt, and Suzette could have actually prevented this from occurring had they gotten themselves through their steps and handled Mark when he first started nattering. He said he recognized that and brought up his own request for a committee of evidence indicating he could see this would not be happening right now. I told him he was right, that looking at ComEvs right now on any of them was a complete joke considering who they are connected to and what they have allowed to occur under their nose and been party to, at least as far as the natter goes. Natter is just when anyone speaks ill of someone, or in our case, of Scientology.
Right.
And
an example is David Miscavige punched Mike Rinder. That's considered natter in Scientology and is something to be reported and is not allowed.
Yeah, even though it's fact, it's still saying something bad about somebody, even if it's true. And if you want to get back in good standing as a Scientologist, so if you've left the Sea Organization from the international headquarters, you're automatically declared a suppressive person. That's L. Ron Hubbard policy. So if you want to get undeclared, you have to get a committee of evidence, and then you have to do these steps that are called the A to E steps. And the very first one is to admit that you're a suppressive and that you're going to stop doing suppressive things. And then as the other steps proceed, one of them is you have to pay off that freeloader bill.
Yeah,
Claire and I
one of them is a very complete confession of all of your alleged crimes.
Yeah, and what they do, is once you confess all these things and say, I did this and I did that and I'm a bad person, whether they undeclare you or not, they have a written and sometimes a videoed confession of you saying these things that they can use against you if you decide to leave Scientology in the future. Okay. Yes, I think we're caught up. Yeah. Okay. I told him that he was right. That looking at ComEvs right now on any of them was a complete joke, considering who they are connected to and what they have allowed to occur under their nose and been party to, at least as far as the natter goes. He said he understood this. I told him he has to align all of their actions to the A to E steps and get this scene handled, and that includes cutting any lines to any other SPs not doing their steps. So pretty much every single person at this party, except for the people that had nothing to do with Scientology, are declared suppressive persons. We're all SPs. This is an SP birthday party, as close as you can have. This may have even been one of the very first SP birthday parties. And so they have to do that. I told him that he has to line those actions to ADE steps and get the scene handled, and that includes cutting any lines to any other SPs not doing their steps. Okay, now Kirsten doesn't know which of the reports she's been sending up have been read because some of these other reports that she sent up have gone unanswered. So she just copy pastes the last document that we read, that we covered in the last Spy File. She just put that entire document in here. So we're going to skip over that and get to the new info. And if you want to see what she wrote, just watch the last episode of the Scientology Spy Files, and I read the whole thing. So, but it just says right there, May 20, 2006 report, and then she lists it there. Okay, good. Here it is. Okay, so this is where her current report continues. My plan from here is as follows. 1, Eric and Matt will do their handling of Mark and report back to me on this. I will report as soon as I have the data on this and propose further handling as needed depending on how this goes. So evidently they told her, we really worked Mark over at the party. We didn't discuss Scientology, but we confronted Mark and, we're going to handle him. And then, so now they're going to have a new meeting and they're going to work all that out. 2, concurrently, IJC, that's the International Justice Chief, per Scientology's policy from L. Ron Hubbard, when you're declared a suppressive person, the single person that a suppressive person is allowed to speak with inside Scientology is the International Justice Chief. And that is all to be in writing. Mm-hmm. That's what L. Ron Hubbard said. So not sure how Kirsten just can talk to whoever she want and have people spy for her and they work for her and they meet with OSA and they come in. And even though they're all suppressives and they're only supposed to talk to the IJC, if they could possibly be a spy for OSA, they just throw L. Ron Hubbard right under the bus and just like, screw that. These guys are resources. We're going to use them.
Yep.
Concurrently,
especially when said people all worked directly for David Miscavige for many years. David Miscavige is the one telling Kirsten exactly what to do.
Exactly. 2, concurrently, IJC sends the following emails to Eric, Matt, and Suzette. Dear Eric, I am aware that you are currently taking some action to handle a situation of a declared SP you are connected to who has been found committing further suppressive acts instead of getting through his A to E steps per LRH policy. You do need to get this person handled as part of your own handling, as part of handling your own situation. Handling this falls under your own steps A, B, and B1. This also means handling appropriately anyone else connected with this person. I know you also requested a committee of evidence. However, I believe it is obvious what the outcome will be if this were to be done while you are connected to someone described as above.
And let's just insert what this is saying without saying it is.
You're never going to talk to your family.
Exactly. Yep. You got it. Eric, if you want to talk to your mother, all of this is going to be handled by you directly.
Yeah. Get the above actions done and we can take it from there. I am interested in assisting you to take responsibility for your situations and get yourselves back into good standing rapidly. Get back to me rapidly. That's a weak repetition, I think, if you're a writer. Sincerely, IJC. The same comm will be sent to Matt. Comm just means communication. And then they're going to write one to Suzette. Let me flip the page. Dear Suzette. And then flippity flop. Okay, good. I understand that you are IP on your amends project and you are almost ready to turn in what you have done so far so it can be reviewed. Suzette has gone through a ton of the steps and she's near the end of her steps now. So, and she's been playing the game because she wants to speak with her Scientology family members. Let me know exactly where you are at on this and when you can mail it to me so we can get your project completed rapidly. Otherwise, I know you are aware of the situation with the declared SP you have been connected to, who has been found to have been engaged in committing further SP acts instead of doing his A to E steps per LRH policy. This is definitely a situation, and one that you, Eric, and Matt need to take responsibility for, considering you have all been connected to this person. He needs to be gotten to cease his SP actions so he can get his situation handled in alignment with LRH policy. Get back to me rapidly so that we can get you all rapidly back into good standing. A more weak repetition, just written in a weirdly different, weak way. Sincerely, IJC. So here's another thing. Remember when we've talked about this on lives and other spy files. We've talked about the International Justice Chief. His name is Mike Ellis. He doesn't do anything. Kirsten has written and proposed to David Miscavige the exact wording of the letter that the IJC will write. The spy wing is writing the letters for the International Justice Chief. Just keep all this in mind. And when we get to these photos, you guys are going to be flabbergasted. I mean, it's going to blow your minds. The amount of spying that's going on at this party. I think we're all going to have a birthday party. We're going to have fun. And you'll see when we get to the very last photo, there's a group shot and there's one person. There's one, no, besides Claire and I, there's one person that we're pretty sure didn't talk to Osa. That's it. One person in the whole photo.
Little did we know we were posing with a bunch of Osa spies. Holy moly.
I know. It's like
we were so naive back in the day.
3, IJC will also get Gil and Gabrielle into communication about getting through their steps. He has emailed them, but they have not responded. And 8C just means to control somebody, to get them to do what you want. And 8C Ellen Prager through her steps and get her to cut her line with Mark and Claire immediately. Now, Claire actually worked with a company that Ellen worked at, and Ellen got her the job. And we think that was sort of organized through OSA, because OSA likes to keep tabs on former Sea Org members, so they actually help them get into a job that another spy or SP works at, so one can keep an eye on the other or vice versa.
Yeah. OSA would call into Ellen in that office on a regular basis, and she would always step outside. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we already kind of knew. We from the outset, we knew Ellen was a little fishy. And the reason it's very easy to see who's fishy, because if they still have family members that are in Scientology and they want to speak with those people, they have to play along with OSA. There's no other way around it. Unless they break that family member out, they have to play nice to be able to talk to that person again. And I knew Ellen since I was a tiny kid, because my mom used to carpool, take other kids to the Scientology school we went to. And one of the kids that she took was one of Ellen's daughter. I think her name is Vanessa Prager, I think is her name. She's
and Alexandra. She has two
that's
daughters.
right. Vanessa and Alex. And I think Alex is a big photographer, famous, muckety muck in Hollywood, or of some notoriety. And Ellen wanted to speak with her children.
Yeah, she was very, very upset that her daughters had both disconnected from her. There was no question. We knew she was devastated by that.
Yeah. And Ellen used to work with us at the headquarters, at the international base. In fact, every single one of these people was at the international headquarters. So they all knew David Miscavige was beating up people and violent and screaming and yelling and spitting on people and kicking and crawling across conference room tables like a South Pole elf, all that stuff. Okay. Okay, 4. Mark and Claire are holding their next market in Burbank on May 28th. We will be establishing a comm line with them at this market. So the company that Claire worked at with Ellen was a farmer's market company that did farmer's markets. And Scientology were setting up farmer's market vendors to be in our markets so they could get our business forms and they could get all our contact info and see how we did business as a possible point of leverage to then make our business fail by doing whatever. I don't know what they thought they were going to do. It's a farmer's market. I mean, people are selling peaches and honey sticks. I mean, what are we going to do here? We're not, these are SPX, this black cherry honey that you're selling in sticks of plastic. We have confirmed through a suitable call that both Mark and Claire will be present on that site. So they've already set this up and they've asked, who's going to be there? Oh, Claire's like, I'll be there and my husband will be there. And they're like, okay, we know they're going to be there. Blank will likely be there as well, as we know that he is definitely doing this work with Mark. So they had another person that they were asking things about, and he was like, I don't talk to them. I don't work with them. I don't know anything about them. And now they're finding out that he definitely is. So they already know one of their spies is holding out. At least one of them is not giving them the goods. 5, concurrently, we are doing further digging into Mark and Blank's financial connections. We have found more data on this, I'm just going to say business guy, registered agent of the Headley companies, who is a definite manipulative crim. That just means criminal. And I have to nail down what Mark and Blank exact connection to this guy and work from there on how to document whatever criminality they are involved in. The key data from the PRC is below. PRC is a public's record check. This is okay. Much love, Kirsten 5.0. Okay, now I'm not really going to get in the guy. You know, I don't know who has businesses and if you run your own business. But in California, when you're trying to set up a business, you got to file this and there's a guy you can just call, like he's a business agent, and he'll just set up your company for you. He knows all the forms to file, and he'll fill it out all for you, and he'll set up a business for you, and he charges you like $500. I don't know how we found this guy. The guy I was working with was the one who found him. I think he may have just met him through another person or found him in a phone book, or it was just a guy like, hey, this guy knows how to do this. I'm going to have him do it for us. Okay. How much do you charge? The same amount as everybody else. Okay, whatever. Do it. Well, Scientology went to town on this random guy. I don't even think I've ever met the guy in person. Met the guy in person.
No, neither of us did.
Yeah.
Because he worked in Northern California.
Yeah, it's just doing it. He just had to be in California, and it's all done over the internet or through mail or over the phone. It's not it's like whatever. It's kind of ridiculous that they deep dived on this guy. And the next 3 pages are this entire business guy's business history for the last decade. Anything he's ever done, any company he's ever registered, any criminal or any activities that he was up to, they dug and got everything. And I'll just show you the next pages you can see are all about this dude and every single thing he did. Okay. That gets us up to the party. So they've been spying, they've been digging in the trash, they have our phone, they have all these people spying at the party, and you can see through all these documents how Kirsten has painted these guys as working. They're her guys, they're her soldiers, they're her loyal soldiers that are going to stop me from being suppressive. Okay?
Otherwise known as speaking the truth of what you experienced within Scientology.
Yeah, being suppressive in Scientology is exposing Scientology and all the bad stuff they're doing. Okay, you guys are going to get ready. This is going to get crazy. Okay, so, I'll put it back to that other one. I like that better. Now, this party is taking place in May. My first son was born in February. And he is like my whole entire universe. And I have about 20 pictures of my life before I left Scientology, maybe 30. No one ever took any pictures when I was a kid.
Same for me.
And if they did,
I have like 5, that probably our parents have burned all of our photos by now.
Yeah, childhood photos I probably have 5 of too. Most of the other picture I have are from the Ent base, and we've actually gotten off of our hate sites. People have downloaded them off the hate sites and removed the watermarks and sent them to us.
Yeah.
So since leaving Scientology, I take a lot of pictures, and I may have taken 50 pictures of this kid a day when he was younger. I might have like 10,000 photos of this kid up till now. But so I get up in the morning. First thing I do, I see the little guy sleeping, and I'm like, hey, Kaliad. I do a whole photo shoot. He's asleep. He's not bothered by it. But on all the photos that I'm going to show you are sequential. I have the timestamps from all the photos, and some of these photos, some might be a little blurry or not the best photos because people were moving around. There was a lot of activity happening. But this is how the day starts with Kaliad.
Yeah. And so he's about 3 months old. And I bring that up only because we're big bad SPs being investigated by Scientology, and really all we're trying to do is get on with our lives. We have our baby. We're doing everything we can to just make ends meet and get on with it. And yeah, they
Yeah.
will not, Scientology will never leave us alone, as you will see shortly.
Yeah. These photos they start in the morning when this picture, and the last photo is like at 7 o'clock at night that we're going to show you today. So the party, I think, started like around in the afternoon sometime. So it wasn't a lot happening. We're just going to have a barbecue and open some presents. That's it. It's not
Yeah.
like a,
And the other reason this is a good photo to start with is because of Kirsten 5.0's contorted evil theory that our reason for speaking out was because we had, quote unquote, a sickly baby that she had the audacity to refer to as it.
yeah, that it was sickly and ugly looking, and that we were jealous of Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes, and that's why we were attacking Scientology. Unfortunately, I started months and months before any of these children were born, so that kind of falls apart on its head. Okay, next photo. Okay, here we go. Now, people are starting to show up to the party. I'm hanging out in the backyard. That's me in the chair with Kaleid. And this is my friend Matt, who had also been speaking with Kirsten. And it's funny because I actually spoke with Matt yesterday, and I wanted him to come on, but he was traveling and he had other stuff he had to deal with. But he only met with Kirsten one time. In all her reports, she makes out like they had a meeting. No, she called him on the phone, and almost every time he was like, I don't know, I don't know, yeah, no. It was very like, he was just like, whatever, I don't care. He's never been undeclared, and as far as we can tell, he really never gave Kirsten anything, although that's represented very differently in her reports. Like he's working for her in the reports that she's sending up. Okay. Now we get to the fun ones. Now you can see, who are these guys? Well, that's Matt again. And that's Eric, the big bad spy for OSA that we've been hearing about from Kirsten. And you can see here, he's doing his best to confront and shatter suppression at the grill, making some wings and burgers. And then, so yeah, that's Matt. I've known both of these guys worked at the international headquarters for almost the entire time I worked there. I think Eric got there a year or two after I did, and so did Matt. But they were both there until Eric escaped a year before I left, and Matt escaped like a month after I did. Here we are again. You can see they're just like bent on confronting me, and you can see how much fear I have over all of the stern talking tos I'm getting.
You're just shuddering in your boots there, honey.
I am. I'm really like
Eating a chicken wing.
Wow, you guys, I'm going to have another wing before you guys confront me anymore. There's Eric doing all his spy work at the grill there. He was actually like the grill master for that day. He left a year before I did. So he learned how to do some BBQ cooking and all that kind of stuff. So he was like, you mind if I work the grill? I'm like, dude, awesome. Do it. Let's get some burgers and dogs and wings and get it all going. And then, I don't know who gave these out. I suspect it was Claire, or maybe Matt had gone and they got like 50 cans of silly spray. And
Yeah,
so
that was Matt and Eric.
Yeah, so a silly spring war broke out, and that went on for a while. You can see, there it is again. This is blurry, so I wanted to, put some titles on it so you can see who was who.
I just figured it out. Eric was confronting you with silly string.
That may be what it was. They have special OSA silly string, and that might have been what it was. Okay.
He was going to tie you up with all that.
Yeah. So they're spraying me, and pretty much after about 15 minutes, I was literally like, seriously, like this is getting to be ridiculous. Okay. It never ended. And finally, I was like, okay, I'm going to light a cigarette. Nobody shoot me because I think that stuff might be flammable. And no, that didn't stop them. They just kept going. Anyway, there's just more pictures of silly string nonsense. Oh, here's a picture they took. They're like, hey, OSA, we're doing the work. We're putting in the time. Don't be mad at us. We're going to get undeclared, whether hell or high water. Okay, then I don't know what happened, but I think the silly string ran out, and then squirt guns. Somehow they pulled out backup squirt guns. And so now that was a thing. Let me see what else we got here. Yeah, then squirt guns. It was just ridiculous. And I think that's it. That's the last slide I have of that sequence. And then I want to show you this, guys. A little video.
Cool. You're about to start a war, dude.
Yeah, their squirt guns ran out of water.
No.
Yeah, so I went and grabbed the hose. I was like, you know what's better than a squirt gun? A garden hose. Anyway, that ended the squirt gun. They tapped out right then. Okay, so now we get into the really hardcore SP Spy Files stuff that Kirsten was talking about there. German chocolate cake. Yeah, nah, this is what's going on, Osa. I had cake. We had a barbecue, silly string fight, squirt gun fight, then cake. You're never going to guess what's going to happen.
I forgot about that. That's a German chocolate ice cream cake, no less. See? Look at the ice cream.
Yeah.
Yum.
I like it. I do. When I was young, my father's favorite cake was German chocolate. So if we had a cake, if he had a party, that was the cake we were eating. And we weren't eating a lot of cake besides on a birthday. And so I came to like German chocolate. And I think
that doesn't look like much, but I made that from scratch. I remember that.
I do. I remember that too. Thank you, babe. I really appreciate it. It was
welcome,
a delicious
honey.
cake. And I really do like that little tea candle that you put on top of
I
it.
know.
That's a
Well,
budget friendly.
Yeah.
In a pinch.
Cut me some slack. I had a 3-month-old. I forgot candles. Let's just call a spade a spade.
Hey, I'm not doing Primatine Mist commercials. I blew that thing out, no problem. Okay. Okay. So yeah, SP cake. That's right. That's what we got right there.
Yeah.
And Scientologists do consider Germany an SP country. So it would only be appropriate to have a German chocolate cake at an SP birthday party.
Yeah.
And then we did presents. I mean, that was the next thing that was going to happen if you guys thought like that it was all leading up to the spying. No, it was leading up to presents. And of course, what are you going to get me? Cards, Depeche Mode. Anyway, I'm not hard to shop for. Okay. Now, let me see if I can move us around so we can. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Eric talking to Osa. Eric's non-Scientologist fiance not talking to Osa. Gabrielle Llewellyn, we were pretty sure they were talking to Osa because Kirsten said she's going to reach back out to them, and they were sending them emails. They just weren't answering them. Then you got Claire right in front of her, not talking to Osa. Ellen, that's Ellen Prager above. SP Ellen Prager at the time, talking to Osa. That's Gil Llewellyn, Gabrielle's, the other Osa husband, talking to Osa, but we're not sure if they're giving him any info of any kind. And then you have Matt with the tequila, and then Suzette behind him, both also talking to Osa. Now, of these people in this picture, Eric, Gab, Ellen, Gil, and Suzette can all speak to their Scientology families now. So however you want to slice that, that's how things have progressed to now. Matt, his mother is the executive in charge of the Free Winds, Scientology's cruise ship in the Caribbean. His mom is the boss of that ship. She is the commanding officer of the Commodore's Messenger organization for the Flag Sea Org Service Org. Or is that what it's called? CMO ship? She's the CMO. She's the Commodore Messenger in charge of the Free Winds, whatever however you want to call that.
Yep.
And then the only other people that aren't talking to their family are Matt, me, and Claire. We're the only people in this picture that were never allowed to speak with our families again.
Yeah. And yes, that's Suzette, who's I don't know if you said it, but she's Shelley Miscavige's half sister and what had previously been married to Sterling. Someone was asking about that.
Yes, Suzette Tompkins. That's right. She was married to Sterling. Matt and her had a thing, and she actually lived in our guest house in the backyard in one of those pictures. We showed a picture of it. And Matt lived in the house with us. So we had like a 2-bedroom house. He had 1 bedroom, and then we had a bedroom, and Suzette lived in the back. And then after a few months, when our son was born, Matt got an apartment, Suzette got an apartment, and Matt's room became our office / nursery. And then, life goes on. I'm trying to think. Gab, her son and his wife, who both escaped from Scientology, they did a TV show, I want to say on A&E or Lifetime or one of these networks. We at the time, the We Network or the Woman's Network or whatever it was called. They did a full episode. It's Nikolai Allen and Amy Allen. They did an entire episode exposing Scientology and how children are treated in the headquarters. And after that was done, Scientology made a deal with them, and they were undeclared immediately. When they filed a lawsuit at the same time we did, because their statute of limitations were much, much shorter. Like they hadn't eaten through as many years since they'd left Scientology, whereas our statute of limitations were almost going to run out by the time we filed a lawsuit. And Gabrielle Llewellyn's son, Nikolai, filed this lawsuit after they'd already done a TV show, and Scientology cut a deal with them, and they were undeclared. And his wife's entire family were in Scientology, like aunts, uncles, mother, father, brothers. Everybody was in Scientology, and they talk to them to this day. And it may have been through the convincing of Gab and Gil or Gab on her own or whoever. I don't know. Also, fun fact, Gabriella Llewellyn, OT8.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big OT. She knows all about Xenu and BTs and the Galactic Federation. She knows all that stuff, and wasn't able to handle one single SP besides her son and herself.
Someone asked a good question and said, are they aware of each other spying?
Oh, yeah, no. I think the only people that had known that Kirsten had spoke to one or the other were Eric, Matt, and Suzette. So Eric in the black all the way on one side, and then Matt and Suzette all the way on the other side with the white striped shirt and the brown top on with the tequila bottle. Matt with the tequila bottle. You can see Matt is really serious about ending suppression, okay? He's... If anybody's given it 100%, it's Matt, okay? He's got a tequila bottle he's going to polish off to deal with this suppression. But yeah, like I said before, every single in this picture was allowed to speak with their Scientology. I'm not sure about Gil, actually. Gab and Gil, I don't think they're together anymore. And I'm not sure if Gil has spoken to his Scientology. I think his sister and his parents were involved in Scientology. So I don't know that he actually got to speak with them again. But I know Gab does. I'm pretty sure. Well, to be honest, I've lost touch on what's happened with Gabrielle. I know she was speaking with her son and his daughter, but I don't know what the current situation is. But I do know that Eric and Suzette and Ellen are all good to go again. They're all back in bed with Scientology. Not that they're doing anything in Scientology. They're just not exposing them, and they're not telling anything they know so that their Scientology family members can speak to them. Okay, then, oh yeah, I think this might be one of the last pictures. It's just a picture here. Let me get this back over here so we can get a little shot of my guy. So that is my son, Kiliad, and then that's Claire. And then I just wanted, just for reference, this is a picture of me and Kale from like a month ago. Okay, he's a little bit bigger than he was in that picture, and that's us doing some work at the top of Pikes Peak here in Colorado. But yeah, guys, that's a very different picture than what Kirsten paints. And for myself, I was only reading these files and getting worked up and like, I can't believe he said this. I can't believe. But then I went back through the files. Eric really, I mean, we've been painting Eric as the bad guy. He really never told Kirsten anything that she didn't already know from just spying on us. He did confirm some things, and he did give more information over to her than I would have liked, just operational info and, you know, how I was making money and where I was doing stuff and all that. But at the same time, Kirsten is painting it like a whole nother level. Like she's got a loyal army of soldiers that are working for her. And that's what she's painting the picture. I mean, we read the files. She sounds like she's a baller and that she's got these guys, you know, she says jump, they say how high. They're doing the work. And we're going to shut this guy down. There's a confrontation about to happen at this birthday party. And Mark Headley, he's done. They got blackmail on him. We know where he works. We're going to ruin this guy. We're going to shut him down. Well, that was an example of all the shutting down that took place that day. None of these, I mean, I think all of these photos were taken by Suzette. I mean, she took them with my camera, but all of these photos were taken by Suzette. I know she shot the video because I can see her feet in the shot as she's walking, and I can hear her laughing. But
I wasn't taking pictures. I was taking care of the little Bubba.
Yeah, and you were in the pictures, so we know you weren't taking them.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, ridiculous. Now, there was other people at this party that were not Scientologists. And I did notice there was only one of them who's in any of the pictures. So I'm not sure how they manage to always be behind the camera. And these people knew about all the Scientology stuff. For the most part, we had told them what had happened. And they were sort of just like, you guys, this is some crazy stuff, you know? Yeah, thumbs up for crazy stuff. Anyway, So, but they're not, only Eric's fiance at the time was in any of the pictures that I could see. But yeah, this is, I'm just trying to think. There was even a conversation that took, well, I didn't know. I knew somebody was talking to Osa because I know how the whole game is played and I know how it works. And I was pretty sure that it was Ellen. I knew about Ellen because Ellen was sort of, she would talk like that. She would say, and that's actually how Suzette came to live with us. I totally forgot about that. Suzette used to live in an apartment with Ellen.
Oh,
and
that's right.
Suzette was freaked out that Ellen was spying on her for Scientology. Yep. And she was always like, hey, when are you going to go back and do your this step? And when are you going to do that step? And so when we found out that Suzette was out and in LA, we were like, oh, well, let's talk to her. And then we found out what she was doing. We're like, oh, stop doing that. You can make $45 an hour working over here. She was doing those farmers markets with Ellen. And so she had actually moved into our guest house because she was suspected of being a spy. And we thought it was funny. We actually were like, yeah, who gives a shit about Osa? Invite her to the party and maybe she'll see what's going on and all the fun we're having. And when she reports that back to Osa, they'll get a clue and be like, yeah, these guys aren't coming back to the dark side for Scientology.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, all along, we were just like, whatever, we're living our lives. We have nothing to hide. As proven by the fact that the best Osa can come up with is that you allegedly licked some crackers.
Mm-hmm. Well, the other thing that I did tell this to people, and I'm very transparent about it. If you want to sell out so you can talk to your kids, sell out. You have something you can trade with Scientology to be able to talk to your kids. Do it. And I'm very positive that I had a conversation with Eric to this exact effect. Many years after this party, I said, Eric, because I knew he was talking with Osa, because he was like talking to his brother, who's a Scientologist, and he was talking to his mom. So I was like, he's had to have done something, because he's talking to them again. And when I talked to him, I was like, dude, I don't mind if you give them information about me. Just don't get them anything that they're going to be able to jack me up with. Like they're going to be able to, mess with my clients or, affect my livelihood. I don't care if you tell them that I'm a baller and I make tons of money and I'm just, I'm buying new cars and I'm just like, woohoo,
Baller.
living it
Baller.
up.
That's relative to having made $45 a week
Yeah.
for 15 years, just for context. So,
Well, yeah, you make $1,000 a week after making $45 a week. I don't care who you are. You're going to think you're a baller at that point. Okay.
that's true. Yep. Exactly.
But yeah, so I get it. Some people play the game in a different way. And some of these people, Denver Steve-O was talking about it on his channel last night. Denver Steve-O was doing, I don't know why, but he was doing like a whole synopsis. He was doing a breakdown of the movie Sophie's Choice with Oscar-winning actress Meryl Streep. And this is what that is. It's Sophie's Choice. Do you expose Scientology because they're evil and they're doing evil deeds, dastardly deeds on a full-time basis, or do you talk to your children again, or your mother, your father, your brother, your sister? For some people, that's a no-brainer. I want to speak to my family. That's all I have in life. So I was lucky that I had Claire. So, and also, I never spoke with my sister. We worked at the same property for 15 years. I never saw her. She was in the RPF for years. She was in Florida for years. She was always in trouble. She was actually in trouble more than I was, oddly enough. And I was the more troublemaker of the two, and she was always in trouble. And when I escaped, she was kicked out of the Sea Organization, and my mother was also kicked out of the Sea Organization. So, and they remained loyal Miscavige soldiers after they were kicked out of the Sea Org because I was creating problems for them, for Scientology. And my sister and my mother were considered security risks, that they might be leaking information to me that I'm now putting onto the internet. So they had to get rid of them. And my sister was actually sent to Canada. And she was working at this new facility that they have. I think it was called the Hockley Highlands. It was like a big resort property that they bought in Canada that they were going to turn into a Sea Org base or a Narconon or an advanced organization or something. And her and this other guy spent months, if not years, maintaining the place, mowing the lawns. And there's videos. I'll see if I can find it. There's videos of some people, like people that go and find abandoned buildings and stuff. They actually went in there and they found my sister's stuff with her name on it in the place. Because when finally, I think I was telling everybody this is where she was, and I was exposing that on the internet, and I was actually talking to her husband's employer and her former employer. I knew anonymous people were sending me tons of information about her and what she was up to. And they ended up closing that whole property and never doing anything with it. I think they got ran out of town by the locals in the end. They didn't want Scientology moving in. And, but to this day, my sister, my mother, my brother, I have not spoken to them in years because they're still loyal to Scientology. And and the more I do this, the more I realize that was the better decision, because if I don't say anything, then Claire and I get to have a happy life with our family.
Yeah.
That's what we get. If I do say something, then everybody eventually gets to have a happy life with their family. So to me, it's a no-brainer that way. And the fact that I wasn't talking to my sister or my mother or my brother, for my half brother for that matter, for decades at a time, it wasn't, that's where you could see it wasn't like Claire was much more important to me than them. And so, yeah, I made the Sophie's Choice, but it wasn't a hard. I don't think that it was a hard one. It made people think I'm cold, or I'm trying to look at the bigger picture and not just be selfish. And Scientology to this day, they have hate websites out about us. They tweet about us on the, or they post about us on the X machine. Every single day, all day long. These hate websites have hate videos done by all the people we worked with, our family members. Claire and I were arguing, well, whose family is more evil? And I was like, well, mine. I have my mom and my sister have both done hate videos. And then what did you say?
And I said, well, wait a minute, because I have hate videos from my mother, my brother, my stepfather, and my cousin.
I know, and I was like, okay, your family's more dedicated to Scientology than my family.
Yeah, and like you said, yes, I mean, I know, speaking for myself, it felt devastating that I would never speak to my mother again initially. And then I realized that Scientology destroyed my relationship with my mother starting when I was 4 years old, or even when I was born. I was born into Scientology. So I never knew unconditional love. And what do I want for my kids? Absolutely, without a doubt, I want to surround them with people who love them unconditionally. And that would never be the case with our family still in Scientology. If any of our family wake up and get out of Scientology, of course, we'll accept them, welcome with love, and forgive them for what they did, but not on Scientology's terms.
Yeah. It is, I mean, it is what it is, guys. We made the decision we made. We're sticking with it. It's been working out for us so far, and we're going to keep going. Because we're doing a live, I figured we could also take some questions, which I don't think, I mean, all of the spy files are pre-recorded. So this is sort of a new thing here. But if you guys have any questions you want to ask, and you know what, because I'm in such a good mood, we can even do a giveaway if you guys want at the end of the episode. And if you can get your, you know what, I will get, you answer questions and I'll get the StreamYard giveaway thing fired up.
Awesome. Sounds
okay,
good.
So you want to do that? I'll pipe in, but I'll let you read them and answer them if you want while I get the giveaway tool fired up.
Perfect. So I haven't been marking questions. So if you just mark add a comment with a question, we'll get to that. But here we go here. So let's see. Bert Pineapple, Osa must be so fed up of typing the word N theta for Miscavige's reports. Yes, exactly. And N theta in Scientology is a word that means interbulated theta. In other words, anything negative about Scientology. It's just a blanket word.
Yeah. OSA actually has a computer system, and if you just type the word E, it just autocorrects N theta. All there, that's how it is at OSA.
And as we've already seen, Kirsten 5.0 is a huge fan of cut and paste to save her some time. I mean, hey, she's not getting much sleep. She's got a tough job cut out for her. So there you go. Sumaya, Claire, you look 100. Mark, take her out on the town. Oh, thank you. I will admit I'm a little tired today, but it's okay. Thank you for your very kind words. I appreciate it. Let's move along here. Kathy Ann, question. Apologies if you've said before, but why don't they refer to you by name instead of, quote, someone who has been declared an SP, unquote? That's a lengthy list. Yeah, and that's a really great question. The reason why is because they don't want anybody who's seeing those reports, who all knew Mark and I personally for many, many years. They don't want anybody to know that that's who they're talking about. That's why they do it that way. because they don't want other people looking at what's going on and go, wait a minute, Mark and Claire are saying exactly what happened. What's the problem? Anyway, that's that. Office of Spoofed Affairs super sticker. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thanks for being here. And while we're at it, just a reminder, looks like we're at around 1,400 people. Please like and subscribe and help us get the message out about Scientology. Nancy New 12, are all these files from your lawsuit? No, these are not from our lawsuit. In fact, during our lawsuit, we did not have these files. Let me move along here.
They would have been nice during our lawsuit. These files
Yes.
would have been amazing.
They would have been amazing.
I don't know
Yes.
why I don't know. I think I did. Did I? Oh no, you're right. We didn't have them.
We did give them to the lawyers, but it was kind of already when we were now in the appeal process.
Yeah,
and all
that's
of that
exactly
mess.
right. We got them about a year too late.
Yeah. Stephen Burton, does OSA keep everything they do legal, or do they even care one way or another?
No, they'll bend the law in their favor if they need to, and if they really need to break the law, they'll just pay somebody else to break the law for them, so that their hands aren't dirty.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me know when you're ready to
I'm
come
on
back on, because
merch
I-
me is.
okay.
I've got it. It's going to be merch. Hashtag merch me. Use merch me to enter giveaway. Okay.
With a hashtag.
Yeah. Hashtag merch me. I'm going to show you right now. Here it is. Use merch
hashtag
me
merch me. There we
to
go.
get enter giveaway. It's already going. So
Okay.
if you guys start using that, it should start showing up.
Okay, so I'm going to start working on marking the questions here that we told
Yeah.
everybody to
I'm gonna
kindly
leave that
give
up.
to us.
I'll leave that up. We'll do this. Sorry, we're just kind of getting to this, guys. Oh, here we go. That's even better. Poof. Okay, let me see if I can get that back again. Banner. Ooh, yeah, this is fun. We'll get this, once we have this set up, it'll be better. But here, I'll put the screen up now. We can do a giveaway, guy. We're going to do fancy. We'll let this roll, because everybody who enters is going to get in there, and it randomly picks it. Okay. We want to get back to some questions?
Yes.
I'll
Sorry, I'm just
undo the ones you did.
Okay, perfect.
Oh,
I'm
here's a
just
good one.
catching up.
Louis Theroux is promoting a new TV show right now. Can you try to get him on a live? Also, have you kept up with his rap career? No. I didn't know Louis had a rap career. But if Louis wants to come on our show, we'll come on in a second. And I would love to go on his show. I actually had a really good time doing that video. I had the opposite experience as Marty. I rather enjoyed doing that film with Louis. And yeah, I like Louis. He's a good guy. We're very similar. We're almost the exact same age. We're like a few days different, I think, on our age. We have boys. His wife is from England, I think. We have a lot in common when we got to chatting, and he knew a little bit about Depeche Mode. So I was like, this guy's a decent guy. Thanks, Caveman. Jill Harrison. Mark's mom said he tried to drown her. Yeah, no love lost between me and the mom that said I tried. The best part about that is I was 6 when we lived in an apartment building that had a pool. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
It's actually really sad how Scientology uses your family. They weaponize your family against you. At least that's in completely what they're trying to do. And unfortunately, Scientology made us who we are today. At least speaking for myself, I was born into it. So, there's nothing that they can do that will surprise me at this point. They surprised me one time, caught me off guard one time, and it will never happen again.
Yeah, they're pretty. they are pretty capable of doing all kinds of dastardly stuff. Jill Harrison says, does Church of Scientology have an internal email system? They do. They actually had an email system way before email came out. It was called the Mercury system, the Management Electronic Retrieval Communications System, Rapid Communication System, and it was called Merc. And instead of calling it an email, you'd be like, did you answer that Merc I sent you? Or you've got 27 Mercs. That actually was the thing. If you didn't answer a Merc, which is just a message, an email, if you didn't answer a Merc within 24 hours, you'd get a little bit in trouble. The computer system would write a report on you that you didn't answer your Merc. And if you didn't answer your Merc after 48 hours, it started really cranking up the reports. And if you didn't answer your computer messages for like a week, you got put on this list. You got put on the notice board of all the people who had stale dated communications.
Yeah.
If you get an email in Scientology and you don't answer it within 24 hours, the Scientology police come to see what's going on. They're like, when you don't answer Mercs, you pop up on the police radar in the central Scientology facility at the end base. It's the if you don't answer a communication, you could get a court of ethics or even a committee of evidence. But if you're a repeat SA Danny Masterson guy, We'll spend millions of dollars on legal defense, but if you don't answer those communications, it's curtains.
Yeah. All right, we're ready to do the giveaway before
You ready?
we drive everyone nuts. Yes.
Oh, okay. Let's do
The
it.
merch
I'm going
are
to
flying.
let's get it. I'm going to share screen. Okay. I'm going to pick the giveaway screen. This is a lot of here it is. Giveaway tool. Okay, you see that?
Nope.
Sorry. Oh, you don't? Oh, yeah, you do. You have to. Oh, here we go. Poof. There it is. Merch me. You see it now.
Yes, I do.
There, now it's big. Okay, this is how it works, guys. There's 210 entries. We can leave it up. We'll just get, when we get to 250, we're going to do the draw. So it's not going to take that long because it's 212. It'll go fast.
I say let's do 2 draws. How
Two
about
draws?
that? Yeah, 2 draws.
Okay. So you want to do it right now, Boof? Here we go.
Okay, yeah, go.
Oh, we can do multiple draws
Yeah, that's what I'm
on the
saying.
same thing.
Yes.
Okay, so let's just do one now. Poof. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's cool. See, this is I saw Kelly Copter do this on her channel, and I was like, oh, I think that's what Claire's been trying to do. Dari Mari, you're the winner. Congratulations, Dari Mari. Dari Mari, give her the tell her what she's won, Claire.
Well, Dari Mari, you are the lucky winner of whatever you would like from the Blown for Good merch store. Please send me an email, claire@blownforgood.com. Include the link to the item you would like. It could be a signed book. It could be an Audible book. It could be any of the many items that we have in the Blown for Good merch
Anything
store.
you can pick.
Yes.
I always tell people, pick the most expensive thing, but you can do whatever you want. I mean, if you're going to
whatever
get something
you'd
for
like.
free, might as well be a Hail Xenu zipper hoodie.
Yeah, there you go. Or a Claire Bear hoodie.
Yeah, those are, I think the Claire Bears are a little cheaper.
Hey now.
Here's,
But they're much prettier.
less expensive. Excuse me. I use the proper nomenclature.
Yeah, please now.
Now, here's the cool thing about Claire's giveaway thing that she's been so bent on doing. You could just say draw again, buskadoosh, and now it's going to do that. It's not going to give it to our last winner, but it's still going to pick through all these people. Oh, Granny G, you almost got Love Food Kitchen.
There we go.
This is pretty cool. I do like this. I do think that this is a good way to do it.
Yes, I agree. And plus it shows you who's participating and who's interested and all that. Anyway, I like it too. It's kind of fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
And you can guarantee there's no favorites. we've never really played favorites. Sometimes somebody who just asks over and over, I think Mike just gives it to, he's like, hey, this person's always here, I'm giving it to him.
Yeah.
But it's random. We don't know. Love Food Kitchen, all respect, but I don't know who that person is. We couldn't rig this,
Yes.
which I like that. It makes it fair. So if anybody
Yes.
thinks there's any funny bunny business in here, it's all
The
up
StreamYard
above the
giveaway
boards.
tool makes it all on the up and up. So congratulations, Love Food Kitchen. Again, you are the lucky winner of whatever you would like today from the Blown for Good merch store. Please just send me an email, claire@blownforgood.com, with the link to the item, and I will send you back a giveaway link, which means you can order it at no cost. So there you go.
Awesome. So I propose that we do the rest of the questions.
Yep.
And then when the questions are all done, we'll do another 2 giveaways.
Perfect. That sounds amazing.
That way, anybody
That
who
way
didn't get
we're-
a chance.
Yeah, we're giving our thanks to the almost 1,500 people here today. We appreciate you joining us on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. For some
Silo
OSA talk.
Simon. What was that? Sorry.
For some OSA talk.
Yes. Silo Simon said, took me a second to realize he meant Twitter. I said the X machine. Yes. I did mean what formerly known as Twitter. Hot Mess Express says, can someone please explain licking crackers to me? Yes, Hot Mess Express. I have a hate website that is run by Scientology called whoismarkhedley.com. And I welcome anyone to go to it. It's actually, I think
I would
it
say-
proves everything that we say.
Yeah, it does. But we had some fun with this. On one of those videos, somebody that Mark and I both used to work with did a video in which, with a straight face, she said, Mark licked those crackers. So Mark, with the help of the amazing, beautiful, and talented Kelly Copter, put together a fun little trailer about cracker licking. So don't go to the hate site. That's just, I mean, you can if you want to. It's,
Oh yeah, that's true. You're
know?
right. You can see
Yes.
what she says in the hate site. You can see it on our YouTube.
Trailer.
We'll put a link to it in the description below. But if
Yes.
you just look up Mark Headley cracker licker, it'll show up. It's a fun little video, and
You'll laugh.
you know,
It was
we
our
were-
way of playing with OSA. Like, okay.
we were actually going to start just licking crackers in videos because it was so popular for a while. And John Schatzowski sent me a whole box of crackers. And after I ate them, I got sick. And turns out I can't eat crackers. So I never really ate or licked crackers in the past. So I didn't really know this. And then when I started eating them on the regular, my body was not a fan.
It's very fair to say you're gluten intolerant.
Yeah, which also goes to prove that this is a ridiculous thing that I would even have crackers because I can't eat them.
Yeah, we didn't have. Don't forget, guys. It's not like we ever went to the grocery store and bought anything.
Yeah. Question, Luna312 says, do you still talk with any of the people from the birthday party? Yeah, I actually talked to one of the people yesterday. He's doing great, and he's living his life. He has a child, and he was actually hanging out with his kid when I talked to him. And yeah, I think he might be the only one besides Claire. I think he
course.
might be the only person at that party that I still have regular contact with. I don't have any. I want to make sure this point is very clear. I do not actually have any problem with the people that chose to be with their families again. I understand. It is what it is. And also, I'd like to think that because I'm telling the stories that happen at that place, they can go be friends with their family and not feel guilty because I'm telling the stories that happen there. So I'm taking the hits for them. I didn't even think of that until just now, but it did occur to me that the stories are still being told by other people. So whether a few people don't, it sucks that they wouldn't just say, yeah, this happened, but it is what it is. It's their life. Do whatever works for you. A lot of people get worked up about decisions people make. You got to realize whether a decision that somebody makes in their life that doesn't make sense to you, well, you're not them. They're making the decision based on their the dynamics of their life, and you don't know how much pressure their upbringing, or they have an inheritance of $10 million in the wings, or there's in like. I will say this, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying it. My friend, the one I still talk to, he stood to gain a multi-million-dollar inheritance were he to play nice and not and disconnect from me and play along with Scientology. He refused to play along with Scientology, and he didn't get it was all gone. It actually we've kind of come to find out over the years that all that money was given to Scientology by his father, and his father worked out a way, because he was no longer speaking with his son. His father figured out a way to circumvent the will and a bunch of stuff, and I think a bunch of that money went to Scientology. Yeah. So listen, a lot of people listening are like, oh, I would have taken the millions of bucks. I mean, he didn't. I don't know. That's him. I didn't even have that sort of situation. I had nothing to gain by exposing them and everything to lose. He had everything to gain, and he chose not to. So it is what it is. People make decisions based on what they think is the right thing to do for them and their life. Yeah. But Mark, did they say...
We're not here to judge people. We're just here to expose Scientology, and that's always what we'll keep doing. That's
exactly. I think everybody involved in all this is a victim of Scientology, regardless of whether they worked with them. It's all a big mess created by Scientology. Nancy knew 12. But Mark, did they say that you ate the crackers or you just licked them? This is true. That's true. Maybe I don't even think, was gluten intolerance a thing in the Sea Org? I never heard of that ever when we were in the Sea Org. If you were gluten intolerant, you were eating some gluten. That's your business now.
Yeah, there were a handful of people that were on, quote, special diets, unquote, but they had to have written approval to be on those, and it was a mess. And anyway, there you go.
Yeah. Valerie Close, question, do you think that the hate videos have to bother the people making them, knowing they have no choice but to survive, they have to cooperate? 100%. I mean, even my sister, I'm positive my sister knows, oh, Mark's going to make the biggest joke out of these videos. When if he sees them or someone's, he's going to roast us. That's what he's going to do. He's not going to care. I mean, anybody who knew me in the Sea Org, Claire can attest to this. Anybody who knew me in the Sea Org, I'm the exact same person that I was in the Sea Org. I'm just a little bit more ballsy now, and I have a less F's to give, but I'm very similar. I talk and act the way I acted when I was there. I'm not a different person. So if they did these sites, they're going to know, like, oh, he's not going to give a shit about this. These literally are going to be a joke. Okay, and I'm pretty sure my mom knew that too.
Yeah. Just pause for a minute and take down the banner. People are complaining that the merch me is destroying the chat. People are still entering merch me. Okay, you only have to don't you only have to enter it once?
Oh yeah. We should have said that. Yes. Once you say merch me, you're entered. It's not like a lottery ticket. You can't buy 50 and it increases your chance of winning by 50. I'm pretty sure it sorts you after that. So if you've typed it once, you're in. You've entered.
Yeah. So we can take the banner down.
Okay. My goodness. Okay, let's finish these questions before they get Jen Nelson super sticker. Thank you, Jen Nelson. That's very appreciated. Very generous of you. Denise, question: do you think the majority of the people in Scientology want out or actually believe their lies? I do actually. I am positive that at least half of current people that are counted as Scientologists are reading the internet, they're talking smack to other people, they're watching our videos, they don't do anything in Scientology because they're embarrassed that they're in Scientology. And then the other 50% are either playing along because their family are in and they're just like, oh no, but they hand out Way to Happiness booklets, they can't be that bad. And then you have the people that are, a lot of the people that are funding Scientology, they're giving it money to Scientology, donating, their patrons, Meritorious, Maximorius, Gluteus, Maximus. Those people are paying, they're just clout chasing in Scientologists. They're bigwigs in their little bubble. They're the richest bigwigs, and everybody in Scientology knows it because if you're shaking Davy Miscavige's fake Davy's name hand, then that's because you've given them millions of dollars. So yeah, I don't think the majority do not believe in it, and a majority of them are doing nothing in Scientology. They're just paying money, or they're in it because their family are in it. And they don't want to not be able to speak with their families.
Yeah, exactly.
Bear's mom, question: how did you ask Claire to marry you, and how soon after you met? Thank you, you are true love. Didn't we do a video about this, babe?
I think so, yes. And we are upcoming going to do our wedding video and all that. We'll talk about it.
We've got all the photos. We got everything sorted. Well, you tell them, Claire. Everybody complains I yap too much, so you answer these questions for me.
Sure,
Please.
you got it. So I arrived at the headquarters where Mark worked in Gilman Hot Springs in September of 1991. So technically, that's when we first met. In May of 1992 is when we agreed to have a relationship. I'm not going to say he asked me out, because that's not really how it goes in Scientology, and would give a false impression that we were going on dates and things of that nature, which was never the case. So he asked me, like, probably a week or so after we had made this agreement, if I would marry him, and I agreed, and then we were married in August. So May to August, we were married on August 21st and 22nd of 1992. 21st is when we got our wedding license in Vegas, and the 22nd is when we had a Scientology wedding ceremony at the Celebrity Center. Boom.
1992, guys. I don't know. I'm not a mathematician, but if you check your calendar, I'm pretty sure we're at somewhere like 30 something.
31 years.
There
we
you
just
go.
Celebrated our 31st anniversary.
There you
Boom.
go. Flipping the flipping. Okay. Thank you,
go.
Bear's mom. Question: anyone know why Liz Gale has disappeared from social media?
I don't know, but I talked with Liz a few days ago, and all is well to my
Yeah.
knowledge.
Yeah, it's
We
it's
all
kind
have
of a
kids
weird
and
thing.
families and work and whatever else. So we will be gone for stretches of time.
Yeah.
And all will be well. We have lived through much worse than making appearances on YouTube every once in a while.
I will say, if there are any future holes that occur in YouTube content or videos, we have amazing stuff coming up. We've got a video coming up with Mike Brown on multiple break-ins and multiple escapes in one incident that happened at the end base. And people were broken out, people broke in, and it's better. I want to say it's as good, or maybe just a little bit better, than the breakout video Claire and I did a week ago. Yeah. This video very well may be an ever better breakout video. And we're going to start an escape. There's a playlist on the channel called Escape Stories, and we're going to start putting all the specific escape stories into that playlist that'll cover the people that we talk to. And we might even just have to start a series called Scientology Escape Stories. Because it is a Scientology stories. We've been including them as Scientology stories. I don't know. You guys tell me if we should make a separate playlist that's just escape stories and then just Scientology stories. I don't know.
I'm in for escape stories, but of course, yes. Drop a comment on this video after the fact if you would like to hear more of the deep dives of how people escaped specifically, like how they did that. And yeah. I think it's fascinating, because the fact that you have to go to such great lengths to escape tells its own story in and of itself.
Totally.
All right, there you go.
Okay, go Claire.
Question, Claire, however did you maintain your sanity with a new baby and living in a fishbowl being watched? Yeah, that's a really good question. It was, in retrospect, looking back, we all just make the best of the situations we're in. But yeah, it was stressful and it was, but yeah, we did it. We made it through. Here we are today. So yay.
Yeah.
All right. Has this experience changed how you parent? Thank you, Studio 1776. I would say absolutely yes. Mark and I have talked about this many, many times. We try to parent almost, I'd say, the exact opposite of how we were parented, and we try to make sure that and it's quite a process getting out of Scientology. I am going to be doing an Ask a Therapist series to kind of really break down, having been born in Scientology and being told that psychology and psychiatry are evil from birth, making comparisons with trained professionals to really learn about what is therapy. Not to say anyone has to make that decision or not, but just to normalize it from a having been raised in a cult situation. But that said, we've always, I've always read parenting books and, tried to do everything in our power to make sure that our kids are surrounded by people who love them unconditionally, and to really help our kids understand that it's really, really important to us, for example, that they get a proper education. Anyway, on and on. So yes, it's definitely impacted how we parent our children.
Yeah. I feel that the reason both of us ended up joining the Sea Org was because we were sort of thrown to the wolves by our parents and just not cared about enough that I wouldn't let my kid do that. Even if he was 21, I'd try to persuade him not to do something like that. We were both in our early teens when we were sort of just turned over to Scientology. And so, and we felt like that was the better choice because of how our family and home life was, because it wasn't a supportive, empowering environment. So yeah, we tried to do the opposite of that. There you go. Next.
All right, question. Referring to the picture of Claire and baby Bubba, how many months or years past Mark's great escape were you? Yes, so this was May 2006, and we had both made our escapes in January 2005.
Yeah,
so
and
a year and a
Bubba's
few
just
months.
a nickname
Yes.
that we have for the kids when they're little.
Yeah, and now we call our youngest Monkey all the time. Or so, actually, we still call him Bubba. It's just Again, John Clark, question: if an OT is supposed to have godlike powers, why would it even bother them to deal with an SP or look at criticism of Scientology on the web?
That's what
Seems
I've
like
been
a huge
saying.
contradiction. I know. That's why I marked this question, because I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? That is a great question.
I would say this-
really that breaks it down of the irony and the complete contradictions. And really, a Scientologist, if they're still, that they'll be like, can't look, and there's cognitive dissonance going on and all that. And many times they're afraid to look because of what the consequences will be for them, not only within Scientology, that they'll now have to pay for interrogations and ethics handlings and everything else, but oftentimes their family, their children, who they work for, their friends are all in this small Scientology bubble. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would say that all the time. I'm like, so what? There's SPs. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, that's how we treat them. We're like, oh, OSA's putting hate websites. Who cares? Whatever.
Yeah.
When you're in Scientology, the most powerful Scientologists are the ones that are declared SPs. Mm-hmm. Because if I walk into the store, Scientologists, they have to leave the store if I'm in there. They can't talk to me. They can't have any communication. Because if the words I say could ruin their Scientology relationships and family and eternity and all that. That's how powerful I am. They have no power over SPs. So that is a great question.
Mm-hmm. It really is. Sharon Miner, do you think any of your family members will ever leave Scientology? Great question as well. Answering for myself, I certainly hope so. I have an uncle that's in the Sea organization in England. He already escaped once. He was on the Rehabilitation Project Force for 10 years. Anyway, and I really hope my sisters and my brother will come out someday. The problem is that they were really young when I joined this organization. I was 16, my sister was 6, my brother was 4, and my little sister was 2. So they don't actually know me, which makes it even sadder to see my brother having to do a hate video about me. But again, I never say never. I never thought Mike Rinder would leave. And
That's true.
He did. So, we have hope, and no one can ever force us to give up hope. There you go.
Yeah. Awesome. Panko. Super sticker.
Wow. Thank you, Panko.
Very
Good to see
generous.
you here,
Thank you
and
for that.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Panko's been a frequent flyer of
Yes.
the channel from the very early days of Blown for Good.
Very definitely. Debbie Richardson, congratulations, Claire, on becoming president of the Aftermath Foundation. Do you think little Davy realizes that he caused you all to speak out, or is he completely oblivious to his own lunacy? Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate it. It is greatly our honor to serve and assist with the cause of the foundation. It's something we're very, very passionate and dedicated to, obviously. And to answer your question about David Miscavige, there's a term in Scientology where they say you're occluded, like you can't confront what's really going on. That's what's going on with David Miscavige. He will never admit his involvement in anything. It won't be obvious to him. He's always right, and everybody else, meaning the entire world, is wrong.
Yeah.
So sadly, he has the incapacity to review any of his actions. And there you go. That's on him, not on us.
Yeah. If you actually, Scientologists are really big in statistics and statistical analysis. And if a statistic changed at a certain point, you look at what changed at that point. And that's how they review everything. It's all about the statistics. If you've ever been a Sea Org executive or a Sea Org member, all of Scientology is based on statistics and analyzing them to figure out who caused the stat to go up and who caused it to go down. Scientologists that are watching this should know that Scientology's international statistics, as dictated by L. Ron Hubbard, have been going down since the early 1980s. When David Miscavige took over Scientology, they used to have at least 100,000 members in the 1980s, early 1980s. And now they're down to about 25,000, including the Sea Org members. So their members they're actually reducing, which lines up. David Miscavige considers 2.5% of the population suppressive persons, because that's what L. Ron Hubbard wrote. 2.5% of the world are suppressive persons. And Scientology has been declining at 2.5%, a rate of 2.5% every year since David Miscavige took over. So coincidence? I say not.
I think the rate of decline has increased to the 20%.
It has.
20% is what Hubbard says. The population of Earth is our potential trouble sources.
That's true.
Yes. I think that's more, anyway. So many people are leaving Scientology, it's hard for them to keep track. They're just having to focus on.
Trevenon has a very perfect comment.
Yes.
Have you ever met it?
Put your manners back in.
Tom, I got to get that one. I'm going to write it down. Have you ever met an SP? I'm going to clip that. And that's going to, whenever somebody says that, I'm going to, play it.
Put your manners back in.
You can't handle the truth.
Anyway, yes. Thank you, Trevenon.
And the irony of that question is that Tom Cruise was your counselor in Scientology.
Tom Cruise was my Scientology auditor. So when people ask, have you ever met an SP? He knows in the back of his mind, oh, I have. But when they asked him that question, I was still there. And I was one of the people that was working on at Golden Era Productions, making those videos. So, but in retrospect, he not only audited one, he made one. That's, if you're an auditor and the person goes SP, you are largely responsible. So I just realized that the two people that are that share responsibility in me becoming SP are Tom Cruise and David Miscavige. You made this, folks. SPTV Nation. Should have done something different. Do you feel upset with how they have duped people? They sell this utopian view but treat you like crap and it's not real.
We're not upset about it. That's why we're here, so that innocent people can't fall prey to this cult any longer. It's not something to be upset about. It's an aspect of, hey, let's educate people and help people understand what's going on here. And if we can save one person from getting dragged into that cult, then we're here for it. So
Yeah, it's not very productive getting upset. Oh, it's upsetting, but it's not productive to get up. Getting upset is not going to solve the problem. Channeling that into action may,
Yep.
we hope.
Yep.
Go ahead. You can read that
Okay,
one.
Alexander Champagne, you two are so inspiring. You deserve to be happy. Thank you for all you do to help ex-Scientologists. Your Sophie's choice was the right one. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Hannah, didn't we do this? You can read it, but I'm pretty sure we did that.
No, we didn't. Question: when are you going to have the delightful Catherine Olson tell her story on your channel? She just volunteered, and I love her style. So yes, I did an interview with Catherine. That's in Scientology Stories. But yes,
Yeah.
Catherine and I talk almost every day. So we could do an Catherine's escape story would be a
We never
fun
did
one to
that?
do. I mean, we talked about pieces of it, but like with graphics and all that,
Yeah.
me picking her up
Oh,
at the
yeah.
airport
That would
and
be
all
great.
that would be amazing. Yeah, I picked Catherine up at the Denver airport the day she escaped.
Yeah.
And she walked out and I gave her a big hug and we got her. Yeah. So
That was sort of a
amazing
weird
story.
one because we weren't doing YouTube at the time,
No, we were not.
but she knew enough to want to talk to us. Like she
Yes.
named us, like, I want to speak to these two people.
Yes.
And it was Aaron and myself, I think. Wasn't it Aaron
Yeah.
and myself? She
Yeah.
was like, I know these guys know what's going on. I want to talk
Yep.
to them.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, I thought we'd done that.
Yeah, absolutely. Kimberly Stovall, question: have you had someone that was hateful to you become a close friend post cult? Well, I mean, hateful within Scientology. You know, I don't know about hateful. Definitely not. I mean, the two people that were super hateful to me were Jenny Linson and Sue Wilhair Gentry. Other than that, you know, we don't hold things against people, and obviously we're very good friends with many people who have left, like Mike Rinder, Christy, Amy Scobie, you know, whatever. We have tons of friends. So
Yeah.
yeah, we consider it, at least speaking for myself, when I speak to someone new, I'm always like, hey, if hopefully there's no hard feelings for anything that went on. You know, being that I was in Religious Technology Center, I interrogated many people, and I always want to make sure that people know that if I need to apologize for something, I am glad to do that, because believe you me, there's many things I'm not proud of, having spent 30 years in Scientology, but you know, that's again part of why we do what we do now. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Okay. When did Catherine Olson leave Scientology? About 2 years ago now, right?
June 11th, 2021. Boom.
Yeah.
Catherine, tell me if I've got it wrong. I know I don't.
Oh, great. Is Catherine in the chat?
Yes, she
probably
is. She is.
Oh, she is in the chat. People are like, yeah, why don't you just ask
remember
her?
it very
She's here.
specifically because it happens to be the birthday of someone that I do a lot of work for. So
Nice. Okay, cool. Well, there you go. You got your question answered, Stephen.
Stephen Britton.
Okay, here.
Jungle Jane, question: how can a family disown their loved ones? I can't wrap my head around it. I know, I completely agree with you. I've listened to, you know, I've read lots of books, listened to audiobooks, you know, whatever. And I think one of the things that struck me the most was someone said that disconnection is more cruel than death. And I completely agree with that. It's, but I think also disconnection highlights the evil and destruction that is the true nature of Scientology. There's no way to wrap your head around it. There's nothing to understand other than to understand this is a dangerous cult.
Yes. Thank you for that, Jungle Jane.
Stephanie Stewart, how did the last Aftermath Foundation fundraiser do? Such a worthy cause. Thank you, Stephanie, so much. It did amazing. I think the
13,500
yeah.
was the total from YouTube. But whenever we do one of those fundraisers, almost every time we get donations directly to the SP shop. So people donate, they buy something and they do an extra donation there. And then people send in checks. So we usually don't do a tally until like by another month, because that some people are donating and mailing from other countries, and then the SP shop orders have to be processed, and then that has to pay out. So I would say it'll at least be anywhere from what it is, 13,500 up to probably maybe even $20,000.
Yep, absolutely.
So it was very successful.
Yes,
thank you
very,
to
very
everybody who
successful.
donated.
And thank you also to everyone who has purchased the Davy Elves over at the spshop.com. That single item has already raised more than $10,000 for the Aftermath Foundation, which is absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, don't forget to get on over to the spshop.com if you don't have your Davy Elf. And thank you to everyone who has submitted photos. One of these days leading up to Christmas, we'll have some fun with all of those amazing photos.
That's right. If you've got photos of Davy dolls or SP bracelets or bobbleheads, but at the end of the year, we're going to do a wrap-up video, and we're going to pick all the best bobblehead picks, bracelet picks, Dirty Davy doll picks, and we're going to bring back an old-time favorite, Shoops. If you guys have got David Miscavige and Tom Cruise in the shower Shoops or whatever, any David Miscavige Shoops that you want to submit, we're going to do all the ones we get between now and the end of the year are going to go into a folder, and the good ones we're going to pick. And I think the top 10 of other whatever it was, bobblehead, SP bracelets, Dirty Davy, or Shoops, the top 10 best of all of those are all going to get merch giveaways. They're going to win merch depending on which place you get or whatever. So you can go to blownforgood.com and you can submit the photos. They can submit the photos through the Blown for Good link, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Wait, sorry. Oh, yeah, it's through the Blown for Good website, yes.
Yes. If you go to the blownforgood.com, there's a contact us page, and you can put your photos in there and then send them that way and say what it's for, and then that way it'll go to the right place. It's all bloopity blooped and computerized, digitized, all that stuff now with all the digitals. And then we also have other merch. If you guys just want Blown for Good merch, you can go to the Blown for Good store and get that. We're selling a ton of Hail Xenu sweatshirts and trucker hats and stickers and all kinds of good stuff over there if you want that kind of nonsense. And then
we also added Aftermath Foundation merch at the spshop.com. So we have hoodies, shirts.
That's right.
Other great items. So.
Merch. Yeah, I miss the Shoops too. I was looking through, had to look through a bunch of old folders to compile this birthday party stuff, and there was a Shoops folder, and I looked in there and I thought, if you guys don't know what Shoops are, it's just a Photoshop. It's a funny Photoshop document. My favorite one to this day is somebody sent in a picture of Tom Cruise from Top Gun when he's in a shower scene, and they just photoshopped Dave Miscavige right in front of him, and Dave has full makeup on. He's got lashes and he's got blush. It's amazing. Little lip gloss. Anyway, that's one of my favorites. But so any along that vein, I'm not encouraging it, but I'm definitely not discouraging it. If you've got sexy photos of David Miscavige and Tom Cruise, that's the other thing. A lot of these Shoops, when people send them to me, if they're really hilarious, I'll use them as a thumbnail for a video on David Miscavige or Tom Cruise if we end up telling a story about them. So that's always fun to just see your Shoop over and over again on the thumbnail of a YouTube video. So any photo shoopers out there who like to have fun, you can send those to us. Are we ready for this last giveaway?
I think we have a few last questions.
My goodness.
I see 5 comments still.
Oh, wow, they're coming in.
I added a couple.
Oh, okay.
But there are also some Simply Kim, I'm donating through my work to the Aftermath Foundation through CFC. Thank you very much, Simply Kim. And for anyone who's wondering, CFC is the Combined Federal Campaign. It's one of the most rigorous workplace giving programs that the Aftermath Foundation was approved for a few months ago. Our CFC number is 43091, which is very important. And
you want to explain what that is?
Yes, I'm going to do that right now.
It's U.S.
Yes, this is for the United States of America. Combined Federal Campaign is a program in which all federal employees can donate to their charity of choice with pre-tax dollars, and they're very much encouraged to do so. We've been attending many CFC events to promote the Aftermath Foundation and the cause of the Aftermath Foundation. It's an amazing program. So
nice. Thank you, Simply Kim.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Apostate Alex in the house. Thank you for everything you are both doing to expose the horrific ways Scientology abuses and hurts people and their families. You both inspire me every day, and thank you for your support with the protest. Absolutely.
I'm going to tell somebody something like a behind the scenes thing. When Apostate Alex first kind of came on the scene, we don't know Apostate Alex personally. We've never met him. When new people come on the scene, we got to kind of be a little cautious because we've seen this from OSA in the past where they kind of send people in to infiltrate the SP community. And
as we just demonstrated with those photos.
Yes, exactly. This has been going on since 2006.
Yes.
Okay. So when Apostate Alex first came on the scene, some people were like, hey, we got to keep our eye on this guy because we don't know none of us know him personally. We don't know where he came from. And if any people were wondering, well, what Apostate Alex has done now should clear his name. If he's working for OSA, he's the best damn OSA spy they've ever had because he made Tom Cruise fly into an event in a chopper by blocking the road to their event. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's not working for OSA at this point. And I was talking to Claire the other night, and I was like, I can't believe people were kind of a little cautious of him for months and months and months. And then I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's good. He's fine. Let him be. Let him do his thing.
Yeah.
Thanks, Apostate Alex. Oh, my good. Dr. X.
Dr. Shun Lei. Amazing marking breather to catch bit of a live. How do you get your pets if in SO, and what happens to them at the imp base or other organizations if you get into trouble, i.e. the Rehabilitation Project Force or the whole? Yes. And I'm thinking that's a great question. By the way, Dr. X, thank you so much for your incredible kindness. Your support is greatly appreciated. Good luck with your marking. I can't even imagine. But thank you for joining us here. And yes, at least in our case, we had a Dalmatian, which anyway, whatever, it's kind of a long story. We should probably do a separate episode. I was thinking, honey, we should do an episode just on your escape and on my escape for the escape stories.
That's a great idea.
Yes, it would be amazing because we can really go into that. But we managed to get our dog back from the base security guys in April of 2005. So 3 months after we escaped, 3 or 4 months after we escaped, he was in terrible condition. It was really, really sad, but he lived out the rest of his days with us. And anyway, it's not the Sea Organization, just as it's a terrible environment for children, it's a terrible environment for humans, and last but not least, it's a terrible environment for pets. And so they were often neglected. If you had, many times we would spend all of our $46 just getting the food for our dog because he had a skin allergy, whatever. Anyway, so we had to get special food for him, and oftentimes it meant we had no money.
Dog, we had to pay for dog prescriptions and special dog food in the Sea Org, and we made $46 a week.
Yeah.
Dog food is $46 a week.
Yeah. And he was a Dalmatian named Jupiter. We love that dog. He was amazing.
He was the best.
But sadly, when Mark picked him up, he was black and
He was a
dirty
Dalmatian that was a white Dalmatian. And when I picked him up, you could not even see his spots. That's how dirty he was
Yeah,
by
he'd
the
been-
time we ended up getting him. They just locked him in a like a fenced in area with dirt, and he was just filthy dirty.
Yeah.
So very sad. They didn't care that
No.
he essentially was an SP dog.
Yeah.
That was
The
stuck
only reason
there.
he survived is because a friend of ours that was still
Roanne,
there.
L.
Yeah,
Ron Hubbard's
Roanne.
granddaughter was
Thank
feeding
you,
him
Roanne.
and trying to at least give him something so that he would stay alive. And she
Yeah.
kept him alive as much as she could through whatever she was doing after we left. And she's actually was a friend of ours then, and she's still a friend of ours now.
Yeah.
So we got to hopefully one day we'll get Roanne on here.
That would
and
be amazingly epic.
Roanne and I have got some stories.
Mm-hmm.
We've got escape stories. Oh my God, even Roanne. Oh, so good. We got to do a Roanne escape story at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Scientology is really going to hate this series, guys, because
Yes.
we're going to tell people people get worried like, oh, you're telling them how people. No, there have been hundreds of escapes, and everyone is awesome.
Yep.
And there's so many ways to escape. We might even be giving ideas to people who don't know the old ways, and they might find them new. Some
Yeah.
of the SEERG member, hopefully they get it. What is Eyes to See? You can go ahead and read that one.
Okay. Eyes to See 33. Claire, you and Mark should do a fundraiser for an animal organization in honor of all the abused animals at OSA Scientology. Yep, that's a fair thought. Our pets are all adopted. We love organizations that do such great work for our pets.
Yep. Okay, last question.
Okay. Sandra Hartley, who would audit David Miscavige? So, to my knowledge, as of 2005, when I escaped, David Miscavige had not received any Scientology counseling since 1993. And that's according to the documented paperwork in his folder, in his PC folder, where they have record of every single counseling session ever done. The last people to audit David Miscavige were Ray Midoff and John Eastman. Anyway, so there you go. That's to my knowledge. So nobody is the answer to your question. Currently audits David Miscavige. He probably
Okay, I
audits
said
himself.
last question, Alex.
Apostate Alex, shall we submit a DevT, developed traffic report for the literal traffic David Miscavige caused on the roads around East Grinstead last week? Yes. There you go.
Okay, guys. I think we covered everything. We got
Yes.
we got that. We got Mitch. We got Zeno as my homeboy. Blown
We
for
got
good.
lots of great stuff coming up
Davey
this week.
things.
Yes.
Aftermath. We covered all of it. Thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you very much for all you guys who watched to the very end.
And don't forget the two giveaways, the two final giveaways.
We still have to do that?
Yes, yes, you do.
Oh my gosh.
And to everybody in the chat, if you've written #merchme with no spaces, you have been entered. If you added it with any spaces, then you're not entered. So if you #merchme, exactly. There
I
you
just
go.
hit
Here we
draw
go.
again.
Yep.
It's picking another one. Oh yeah, you can see all the frequent flyers.
Mm-hmm.
And kitty named Bunny.
Bunny.
You win. I really like it. Does it really good? Kitty
I
named Bunny.
know.
Congratulations. And send an email to Claire.
And let's do
And,
one more, and then I'll give the final instructions of what to
We're going to do one more?
Yeah, one more. You said you were
Oh,
going to do two at the end.
Never ends. Never
Yeah.
ends.
It
I did
doesn't.
say two. You're right. Somebody's keeping track of all this.
Not going to mention any initials, but her name is Claire Headley.
Yeah. Oh, Juliana,
Care
you
for
almost
JC.
got
Oh,
it.
yes. Oh, my goodness. Okay, congratulations to all the winners. Go to the Blown for Good merch shop on this channel. Pick whatever you would like. Send me a link to that item at claire@blownforgood.com, and I will answer you back with a giveaway link for that item. There you go. Thank you
Mitch
so
is
much
thinking
to
out
everyone who participated. It's been an amazing, almost 2 hours here on this beautiful Sunday
Yeah.
afternoon.
We got another thing coming up in 1 minute.
Yes. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
gosh,
don't
I
we have a meeting?
Oh no, not in a minute. In a few hours. Yeah, we're good.
Okay, good. I was
And
trying
we've
to
got
get
all
out
the
by
time in the
2.
world. And don't forget to join us tomorrow for a live that we will be simulcasting on Blown for Good and Mike Rinder's channel.
And then on Wednesday, we have the escape break-in story of the international headquarters of Scientology's secret Sea Org base in Gilman Hot Springs, California with Mike Brown. Special
Yes.
guest, Mike Brown.
Yes.
Bye, guys. Until next time.